Today's meeting, organized by IGAD, is one of Japan's efforts toward peace and security in Horn of Africa, and also effort to materialize the three pillars, one of the three pillars of Japan's diplomacy, which is realizing Africa as peaceful continent, which has been announced by Foreign Minister Motegi this May in here, Nairobi. Japan has been continuing efforts toward peace and security in Sudan through meetings organized by IGAD and other efforts. We would like to continue our efforts toward improvement of the situation, closely, of course, coordinating with related countries and also like-minded countries. By the way, I would also like to emphasize that Japan considers accountability to our taxpayers is of utmost importance. We as Japan continues to monitor continue to monitor closely without interruption so that our funding will be properly managed and utilized. Hope today's meeting will be a fruitful one, and thank you very much all for listening, and thank you very much for attending. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks and for the excellent partnership and generous support of the government of Japan in advancing peace building and mediation initiatives in our region. It is my pleasure now to invite Dr. Muhammad Ibn Chambas, AU High Representative Silencing Zagan and the Chair of the Quantity. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Yes, I will stand on the protocols already established while recognizing the presence among us of His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Cabinet, Prime Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs of Kenya, our distinguished guest speaker who will also be declaring our meeting open this afternoon. It is a genuine pleasure to be back in Nairobi, and I want to thank you, my brother and friend, Executive Secretary of IGAD, for the kind invitation to participate in this third forum of special envoys and representatives on the Sudan peace process. In that regard, I want to join you in warmly welcoming all special envoys to this meeting. I want to thank also Japan for the support to IGAD to make this important gathering possible. Allow me to also acknowledge and thank His Excellency, the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi. Your Excellency, your presence here today and your willingness to deliver the keynote address reflects Kenya's commitment to the Sudan peace process. We're deeply honored by your participation in today's meeting. The situation in Sudan, despite all efforts to resolve it, has continued to defy solutions, thereby inflicting enormous human suffering on the citizens, a huge percentage of whom are displaced in their own country. The war has continued to destroy livelihoods and critical civilian infrastructure, which may be difficult to replace even after peace is restored. It is also undermining regional peace and security. The consequences extend far beyond Sudan's borders, affecting neighboring countries and posing significant challenges to the wider Horn of Africa. complex nature of Sudan crisis means that all efforts to resolve it must be coordinated to ensure unity of purpose and effective and direct messaging to the parties that they should cease hostilities. This is why this meeting is important. Coordination is key to ensuring that all efforts to resolve the crisis are focused in the same direction. And I'm delighted that we are on the right path in that regard, with this meeting further demonstrating our commitment to forge a united front in our determination to end the scourge of war in Sudan. This is the third in the series, and we must thank IGAD for bringing us all together once again. IGAD's commitment to peace in Sudan has been sustained over the years through collaboration with other institutions. The African Union has been a major partner and natural partner, I might say. Both organizations work as a team in the crisis that engulfed Sudan in the immediate post-Bashir era, and together with the United Nations, formed what we call the trilateral mechanism to resolve the ensuing crisis. We have continued that collaboration as continental and regional organizations, with almost the same principles contained in our roadmaps for the resolution of the conflict in Sudan. Our respective institutions recognize the magnitude of the task and the necessity to coordinate and collaborate with other partners. Since his important appointment, I've enjoyed close working relationship with my brother, Maulana Lawrence Korbande, drawing upon our respective comparative advantages while speaking with one voice. Our partnership reflects the principles of African solidarity, subsidiarity, complementarity, and shared responsibility that underpin the African peace and security architecture. As I mentioned earlier, coordination is key if we are to achieve success in Sudan. As a result, we have strengthened our relationships with the League of Arab States, the United Nations, and the European Union that has provided support for both the African Union and IGAD over the years. The quintet, established out of the necessity to ensure proper coordination and a unified front in the Sudan peace process, has made significant progress since its inception. And we are now in the process of establishing a working group to prepare for Sudanese dialogue. That is a working group of Sudanese themselves. Indeed, we held the first exploratory meeting in Addis Ababa, and we're in the process of having preparations for a second meeting in September this year. The idea is to move from just consultation to concrete steps in getting Sudanese civilian and political actors ready the day after the guns are silenced. This forum presents an opportunity to move beyond fragmentation towards harmonized action. The African Union and IGAD, the League of Arab States, the United Nations, and the European Union, we all stand together in this process. We are united in our commitment to an inclusive Sudanese-led political process. We are united in our demand for an immediate cessation of hostilities and unhindered humanitarian access, and in our resolve to silence the guns and restore peace, stability, and dignity to the people of Sudan. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary. Thank you, Excellency, Dr. Wagner, Executive Secretary of IGAD, for convening us. And we assure you that today's process will go forward to consolidate the efforts we are all involved in to return peace to Sudan. Distinguished colleagues, let me use this forum to ask us to strengthen our coordination, sharpen our strategy, and reaffirm our shared purpose and commitment for peace for the Sudanese people. And I thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks and the continued collaboration with IGAD in peace and the security areas, especially the process of the Sudan peace process. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, now allow me to finally invite His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, to deliver his official opening remarks and formally declare the forum open. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Your Excellency Dr. Wagner Gebeyu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, Your Excellencies, Special Envoys and Special Representatives on Sudan, representatives of the Quintet, representatives of IGAD member states, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me convey my apology to you. We were supposed to be here in the morning, but the president of the country convened an urgent meeting, so it took some time away this morning. So I hope I've not deflated the rest of your events for the day. Welcome to Nairobi for this important forum dedicated to advancing peace in Sudan. Kenya appreciates the efforts by the Quintet, including IGAD, the African Union, the United Nations, the League of Arab States, and all partners for sustaining international attention on Sudan. Certainly, Sudan's humanitarian crisis demands continued international solidarity and collective action. Today's gathering underscores our collective determination to address the suffering of Sudanese people by advancing a coordinated diplomatic and political strategy to end one of the world's gravest humanitarian and security crises. The continued fighting has resulted in dire humanitarian crisis, widespread destruction of infrastructure, collapse of public institutions, unprecedented displacement, and growing risks of regional instability. The UNHCR reports that around 14 million people have been displaced since the war erupted in 2023, creating the world's largest displacement crisis. Reports of widespread violations against civilians in Khartoum and other regions such as El Fasher and El Obeid reflect a situation that the conscience of the international community can no longer ignore or tolerate. Time is of essence. Every day the conflict continues, positions harden, parallel centers of authority become further entrenched, humanitarian needs multiply, and prospects for national reconciliation diminish. The window to prevent further fragmentation and the slide into prolonged state failure is narrowly and rapidly shrinking as the warring parties continue to prioritize military solutions over dialogue. Nevertheless, the historical resilience of the Sudanese people has repeatedly demonstrated their deep desire for and democratic governance. We must carry the voices of millions of Sudanese people who yearn for a nation defined by peace, justice, and the rule of law. The future of Sudan must be secured through an inclusive and transparent political process that reflects the diversity of the Sudanese nation. Kenya welcomes the various international initiatives, including the Jeddah Declaration and the Quad Framework. We reaffirm our support for the decisions of the Security Council, IGAD, and the African Union, including the African Union Roadmap for the resolution of the conflict in Sudan. Allow me to underscore 5 key imperatives for advancing a credible and sustainable peace process in Sudan. First is the support for genuine and concrete actions that facilitate an immediate cessation of hostilities. This must be matched by a coordinated deployment of diplomatic tools at regional and international levels to disincentivize the war and ensure compliance with a durable ceasefire. Second is an inclusive political process. We must support the establishment of a genuinely inclusive Sudanese-led and Sudanese-owned political process. Civilian political parties, women, youth, traditional leaders, religious leaders, professional associations, business leaders, and civil society all have a role to play. Kenya welcomes ongoing efforts to strengthen coordination among Sudanese civilian democratic forces. However, unity among civilian actors remains essential. Fragmentation only prolongs the conflict and emboldens those focused on military solutions. Third is consistent international support with regional and international partners acting constructively and responsibly. This calls for strong coordination among all partners. The risk that competing geopolitical interests may reinforce military approaches and undermine credible mediation efforts remains real and must be actively mitigated. The multiplicity of competing mediation tracks risks prolonging the conflict. Our collective objective must be to strengthen African-led mediation while ensuring close coordination and complementarity with the broader international community. Fourth, alleviating the suffering of the civilian population must remain our priority. There must be unimpeded humanitarian access, effective protection of civilians, and the immediate mobilization of emergency relief assistance. Humanitarian aid must never be politicized and weaponized. Aid convoys must be granted safe and unhindered passage. Civilians and civilian infrastructure must be protected in accordance with international humanitarian law. Additionally, Kenya calls for increased international humanitarian support to frontline states hosting Sudanese refugees in order to prevent further regional spillover and instability. Fifth is that accountability and justice must underpin any sustainable peace. Peace without justice is inherently fragile. A new Sudan cannot be built on the foundations of impunity. Those responsible for violations of international law must be held accountable. At the same time, mechanisms for truth-seeking reconciliation and national healing must be pursued to rebuild trust, restore social cohesion, and lay the foundation for durable peace. Kenya remains guided by the principle that the future of Sudan belongs to the Sudanese people. Our role is neither to prescribe outcomes nor to impose solutions, but to facilitate and support an inclusive Sudanese-led process that commands broad national legitimacy and enjoys coherent regional and international support. Kenya, therefore, remains ready to provide diplomatic space and good offices, facilitate dialogue, support humanitarian efforts, and work closely with IGAD, the African Union, the United Nations, the Quintet, and all partners committed to a peaceful resolution of this conflict. Therefore, let this forum send a clear and united message. The guns must fall silent, humanitarian suffering must end, Sudan's unity and sovereignty must be preserved. I wish you fruitful deliberations and look forward to actionable outcomes that will help us restore peace, stability, and hope to Sudan and the wider Horn of Africa region. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that inspiring opening remarks and for officially opening the third forum of Special Envoys. Your presence today reflects Kenya's continued commitment to peace, dialogue, and regional cooperation. We deeply appreciate your government's support in hosting this important gathering. Now, the opening session is formally concluded, so now we will proceed to photo session followed by lunch break. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much.